practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Now hear, O son of Pita, all by practicing yoga, in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free of doubt. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described herein. Also 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna, and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad-gītā, the living entity has been described as non-material spirit soul, capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yoga. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahmajyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth, because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is ultimate knowledge beyond any doubt. Different types of yoga are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahmajyoti and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, and their manifestations with paraphernalia. One should therefore begin yoga practice as directed in the last verse of the 6th chapter. Concentration of the mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional service in 9 different forms, of which Shravanam is the first and most important. What is Shravanam? Hearing. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, Takshiyu, or hear from me. No one can be greater authority than Krishna, and therefore by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna conscious person. Jai Swami Ki Jai, Lord Narayan Ki Jai, Jai Subhadra Ki Jai. Hey Krishna Bhagavan Sadhguru Bhagavan Sri Sri Bhagavan I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Guru Bhagavad-gītā. No one can be a greater authority than Krishna. Therefore, by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna conscious person. One has to, therefore, learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna, and not from a non-devotee upstart, puffed up with academic education. In the Bhagavad-gītā, this process of understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is described in the second chapter of the first canto as follows. Shrinivatam Swagata Krishna Punya Savana Kirtana Hridyastasto Vivadrani Vidunoti Sritsatam Nashtaklesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavad-gītā Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nakshtati Tadājastamo Bhava Nama Bhavayastane Cetane-cetana-vidam Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad-bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad-tattva-vijnanam Mukta-sanghasya jayate Vidyate hridaya-granthis Chityante sarva-samsaya Shiyante jasya karmani Vishta-eva-parmeshware. Translation. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad-gītā is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee, who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, the devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes free from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlightened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsayam samagram. In other words, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth, personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, verses 17 through 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. Hari Om Tat Sat. Happy to be back here again in Kishore down in ISKCON in Chicago. He was fortunate to be one of the team that founded the Chicago Temple in 1970. This year is the 35th anniversary. Right? Must be. I remember starting stuff. So, that was 2005. So I was born nearby here in the body of my previous life was in Milwaukee. Chicago was. I used to come down here to see the science of the Museum of Science and Industry. Still have that. I was a school out in Chicago. This verse is very happy to be here again. This is one of my goals. Our friend, what's your name? Bhagavad-gītā Das. As you first said, that's the 7th chapter, first verse. So we read that, and Prabhupada, he picks up on a few words here. One is Tachino, try to hear from me. Mom, Tachino, so hear from me. And raises the point that we have to hear from Krishna. Hear from Krishna or Krishna's pure devotees who will represent Krishna. We hear from Krishna. Well, he is the absolute authority. Nobody can be a greater authority than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can get the truth without any adulteration, as it is. In the Padma Purana, it mentions that this spiritual knowledge is handed down through 4 different disciplic successions. Brahma, Sri, Rudra, and Kumara. If you don't receive the message, one of these 4 disciplic successions, then the mantras that you receive that will have no effect, and you misfollow to happen. Misfollow, without fruitless. Swami it won't have a full effect that you're hoping for. What being said, there we get from Krishna, these are the 4 qualified disciplic successions that have received their knowledge from Krishna and are authorized and handed down. Especially these are the 4 lines that we can get information from them, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to unite these 4 successions into one. Now, our safari we take every year after Purnima. A group of about 150, 200 of devotees. Year before last we had 250. We go to different parts of India. Last year we went to South India, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, Tirupati, so many places. Jayapataka, Jayapataka, all around the Pradesh. This year we went north, which is really, we went to up the Ganges, to the beginning of the Ganges, as far as we get. Zero ground, Rishikesh, Sharma, Sriya, Prayag, Varanasi, Patliputra, Naimashala, and other holy places. So, when we finally got to Rishikesh and Hardwar, there's so many spiritual institutions there. Hundreds. Maybe more than hundreds, or at least hundreds. And I don't know if any of them, or many of them are actually connected to any of its four service sessions. Many of them are promoting Bhagavad-gītā. They're all very respectful to us and very respectful to them, customary. The thing is that if one doesn't get the knowledge from bona fide source, ultimately they miss the real point of what is Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna is describing here as the best means to get back to me. Thinking how so many foreign tourists go to these places in search of spiritual knowledge, whether it's like going into the big marketplace, and so many people set up shop, which is the bona fide shop, which isn't, it's hard to tell. They'll look very distinguished. They're probably many of them are very well-meaning and getting certain spiritual knowledge. The Vedas also tell us that we should be very careful to hear from another Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is someone who believes in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Vaishnava could be Utam Harikatavritam Sravanam Naina Portavyam Sarvajistanathadaya. That if we hear the message from a non-Vaishnava, this is like, even if it's the nectar of our Krishna, then it's like drinking milk which is touched by a poisonous snake. As you saw a cobra drinking milk from a glass, puffing some poison in the glass. Would you like to drink that milk? How many would like to drink milk? Over the shot. So this is a problem. But everybody is talking about Hari, everyone's talking. But the problem is that some people they talk about, like I went to the one person, he was a very nice one. I appreciate these people are situated in some nice modes of nature, where some of them across here and everything. And he said that his guru, he was the secretary of all the sadhus in India. He was a very renowned scholar. So he gave me a book about his guru, the teachings of his guru. And his guru was saying that you must perform Bhakti Yoga. So some people think that you should only worship Nirakara. But he said, no, You must worship Sakar, with form, the Lord without form. Just like Prahlad, Guru, I mentioned, they all got purified by worshipping God with the form. So you should worship the Lord with the form, especially performing Bhakti Yoga and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Anything wrong with that? No, wow, this is for Bhagavad. This is really wonderful. It's giving nice things. But then I was let down by the night that I went Vedanta. Just I was reading on the side of Hari Puri God, the country's God, you know, the residences. Because one should get purified by practicing Bhakti Yoga, then it can go on to the higher impersonal realization. It spoiled the whole thing. There was a kind of really favorable people, because yes, the people were very nice, but the final cherry on the Rasgula, whatever, the cherry on the cake was not digestible. You see. So this is the problem. Not to speak of others who are not even really favorable to Bhakti Yoga. It seems the mood is that we do Bhakti Yoga to get to the impersonal truth. Well, we see that impersonal realization is a step to Bhakti Yoga. And some people may do tapasya, and they do. It was very interesting in Rishikesh that we saw, and he was written in Hindi, some in Sanskrit, some in Hindi, and one dating Bhagavad-gītā. It said, I didn't memorize the verse very well. It just said an interesting verse. It said, if you do tapasya, you get some spiritual, mystical strength. But that strength isn't enough to take you back to God. If you want to get back to God, you have to develop your devotional life for Vishnu. That you get by getting numbers. Not everything actually I have to check up. So it's very difficult, especially for a beginner, to if you want to get truth that you can rely on. You want to hear from a teacher that you know whatever is being told is going to be accurate. If you have to analyze each thing, what's the point? I remember once I saw this beautiful drama of Mirabai. You know Mirabai? Maybe you don't know. She was a princess in Rajasthan from maybe 600 years ago, who decided or who realized that she had this very strong devotion for Krishna. She sang beautiful songs, and she accepted Krishna as her husband. So it was an unusual situation, but she's a real personality. The Prabhupada says she's a great devotee. Maybe there's a few points of some of our acharyas that said that her path is not exactly the path we follow. We rather try to be a servant of the servants of Radha and Krishna. But anyway, she was a great devotee, and her purpose was to serve Krishna always. That was her purpose. We saw this drama, but she went through many things. She was fed poison, when she ate the poison. She had so much faith in Krishna that it didn't have an effect on her. Different things like that. It's quite miraculous affairs with her. But there was always a nice drama. At the very end, though, it was like one of these, maybe the person who wrote the drama was a disciple of this person who wrote the book. He saw put on like a strobe light, like a spinning thing, and said, now at the end, Mirabai is merging with Krishna. which is not our philosophy. We don't believe that the pure devotees want to merge with Krishna. That's for the demons and for the impersonalists. They like to merge with Krishna. In his jyoti, in his spiritual intelligence. But the devotees, they want to serve Krishna eternally. When Hanuman was offered a blessing by Ram offered him mystic, not only already mystic power, so offered him liberation. And then he said, I don't want what kind of liberation. He said, you can merge with me. He said, no, I don't want that. You are my master, I am your servant, I want to always have that relationship. I want to serve you eternally. That's the mood of the devotees. So then Ram said, what blessing you want? He said, okay, if I have your blessing, then I love you so much. Just like a son to his father. Like one time, so I want to hug you, like a son has his father. So maybe some of you have seen a picture where Hanuman is hugging Ram. That's from that pastime. It is beautiful too much. Devotees don't accept, they rather get a spiritual form and they serve Krishna in the spiritual world eternally. That's the difference. See, but somehow it's impersonalists. Even if they're somewhat favorable to Bhagavad, everybody knows that you can't avoid it. Throughout Bhagavad-gītā, Srimad Bhagavatam, it says Bhakti Yoga is the topmost yoga. It is the most effective yoga. Yoga means to connect. You want to connect with Krishna, this is the best way to perform devotion to Him. Unfortunately, they put different spins on it. But Krishna never said this, He never said you should worship me. He said you can serve me eternally. Nitya Bhagavatam Sanyana, you can serve Krishna always. So how Bhakti Yoga works is also mentioned here. Prabhupada quoted these verses. Shanvanam Swamitha Krishna. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literature, to hear from Him directly to the Bhagavad-gītā itself, righteous activity. For one who hears about Krishna, or Krishna dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as the best wishing friend, and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing on Him. In this way, the devotee actually develops the dormant in the heart. It separates them and hear about Krishna. All of you hearing about Krishna. You need to hear about Krishna from a pure devotee, or from Krishna directly. When you do that, then Krishna builds up this mercy so that one develops transcendental knowledge. We know about Krishna, we forgot, that awakens. The more we hear about Krishna from Bhagavatam, from the devotees, then the person becomes fixed in devotional service. And by devotional service, you are in another, you're increasing your level of spirituality. You become free from the lower modes of passion and ignorance, progressively. Material lust and avarice are diminished. Not yet fully cut off, but it's diminished. More of a controllable level. You can start to dovetail, you can start to control these tendencies. Then with these impurities wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness. So when we get into pure goodness, all the disturbances of lust and anger and greed and all the lower modes of passion and ignorance are diminished. Then we become enlightened by devotional service. We then really understand Krishna consciousness perfectly, the science of God. In this way, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsayam samagram. Asamsayam means without doubt. We understand the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of God. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiyadi Govindam Sarvakaranam. Krishna is named for the Supreme Controller, Supreme Lord. He has a transcendental form of Satchitananda, eternal blissful knowledge. He is original, and he has no origin. Sometimes people ask, where does God come from? So the secret is that he is the original. He has no origin. Something has to be the original, otherwise. So he's the original. He has no origin. Is the cause of all causes. He's the cause, and he says in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, the last verse, Brahmano Vishishnaham, I am the foundation for the impersonal mind. Doesn't say anywhere in the Vedas that Krishna is coming from the Jyoti. Jyoti is coming from Krishna. This is a speculation that the Gyanis describes the Jyoti as absolute truth. The absolute truth as the Brahman Jyoti is emanated from his lotus feet. This 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā is glorified in the Padma Purana. Probably already heard the glories of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. Prabhupada told me in the crowd that the Padma Purana is important literature for the Veda, for the devotees. So I said he wanted it to be translated in the future for his non-devotees. Hearing that, saw some things. There are mentions that Lord Shiva, he was discussing with Mother Parvati about the glories of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. I wanted to hear. I said, well, there's an example. Once there was a really rich man. He had 4 sons. So he was rich, but he was also a miser. He would bury his money in some hole in the ground in a forest somewhere. So nobody knew where his money was. People who would wobble from the off during class have to pay a fine. Everybody children want to charge $100. You can give something. Put it beside that water. So, where was I? He buried the money in him. So, he was a miser. What was he interested in? He was interested in making money. Money. For him was the honey. One time he was traveling with his sons, with one son. So just a minute, he suddenly got a heart attack or something. Before he could tell them where he had buried all the money, he died. The Yamadutas came and took him away. They saw the body and the soul dead goat's body and bring him down to Yamaloka. There in Yamaloka, they said, you are so much attached to your money, you're not doing anything spiritual. So that you can protect your money, you will take birth as a snake and live in a hole by your money so you can guard it. If he tries to take the money, you can bite him. It was his karma. Attached to his money, you can have your money. He didn't use it for good purposes. Didn't donate to the Hare Krishna temple. Food for life. Simply was accumulating. So as a result, since he was so attached to his money, he was a snake guarding a deadly cobra. So there he was living in a hole. The sons were trying to figure out what the money was, and they didn't really know. They performed all the rituals, the shrine, and everything, but because he was so sinful, he was not effective enough. Sometimes people do shrine and they don't do it in the right way. There's a ceremony that this is the 500th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya performing shrine for his father, Jagannath Mishra, in Gaya. So we went to Gaya with the Lambda Safari. It's also the time 500th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya getting initiated. How many of you here are initiated? You're also following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He took initiation, showing all of us we need to take initiation from bona fide spiritual master. After he got initiated, then he went back to Bengal and he started the Sankirtan movement. He got initiated, he was going dancing and chanting in the temple of Gaya. There's a Vishnu footprint there. How many of you been to Gaya? The beautiful temple there, the footprint of Lord Vishnu. We went this time. In that temple they allow us to do anyway, puja. And everybody can do worship to that footprint, not only the Brahmanas, but they're guided by the Brahmanas, and they will help you to do the worship. So we offer Tulsi leaves and did the Vishnu Sahasranam Archanam worship for the Vishnu Bhana, Buddha's footprint of Lord Vishnu. Om Narayana Namaha, Vishnu Namaha, Namaha Namaha, Srinivasaya Namaha. In 1,000 years, big line of Tulsi. And the big kirtan there also. Remembering Lord Chaitanya's kirtan, everybody in Gaya was chanting and dancing. They gave us an impression from the footprint of Lord Vishnu on a cloth to each of the devotees, so they could take with them. Wish I didn't bring one with me to do about them. They also gave me a framed silver impression of the lotus footprint of Lord Vishnu. They had a recording there in 1971. I've been there with Srila Prabhupada. They had everybody's name. They keep a record of his conduct and all the visitors. Quite impressive. So you haven't signed a new page. So some people do this right, maybe they don't do it in the right way or something, so it doesn't have the same effect. So this Shraddha, whatever these boys did, it didn't work for their father. It was either too sinful, or they didn't do it in a proper way. Sometimes people think, let me offer to the forefathers whatever you like to eat, cherries and raisins, or things you can't even mention in the temple, non-religious, and they want to offer that. But that's not the point. It's not like offering just some gift. You want to offer food, offer to Vishnu Prasadam, and offer that for liberating their soul. Because if they don't do it, it doesn't have any effect. So almost a year passed by. And the father is living there as a snake in a hole. He comes in the dream of the 4 boys. He tells them, I'm your father. I've taken birth as a snake and guarding the whole place where the treasure is kept. I know you did ceremonies, but it wasn't strong enough for help me because I was too sinful. If you really want to help me, I need help. I really need help bad to get out of this hellish condition of being a snake. So they're all like shocked. What a dream. The dream your father became a snake. You don't expect one of the richest men in society, highly, distinguished personality to take birth as a snake. With all the wealth in the world, all the distinguished name and fame doesn't count if you haven't done any spiritual activity. If you're just a materialistic person, that doesn't lead you to a higher birth. Because of his sinful nature, he was led into this hole in the ground as a poisonous snake. So the different brothers, they got together and, I had this horrible dream, like I had my father became a snake. I had the same dream. And then they found out they all had the same dream. Once they all had the same dream, then they realized it must be true. It must be true. And the first brother, he was wild, he was bewildered by the whole thing. What should we do? We should do something for our dad. The second brother was emotional. Just like the things that should happen. The third brother, he really thought, okay, let's do something for Father. Let's get together and do something, and whatever it takes to help him. After all, he's our dad. He did everything for us, whatever he could. The fourth son, he was like what we call a mini child. He wanted to get all the money for himself, and he had an idea where the father might have buried him. So he thought, I need one day install his other brothers, I can steal the money and get off. So he said, no, okay, that's a good idea. But our third brother, third big brother, then I would say big brother, second big brother, third big brother, major brother, major brother. So when he said it's a good idea, let's all think about it for one day and come back here tomorrow at this time, and then we'll give our ideas what we can do to help our father. But actually his intention was stall for one day, go get the money, and escape. It'll be all mine, and I can share it with my 4 brothers. That night, he woke up his wife, says, come on, we have a special mission. I think I know where the treasure is. They took shovels and holes and they went out in the night into the forest. And there, they were digging where he thought. But as soon as they dug, out came the snake. I'm going to bite you and kill you. Dad, no. He just came here to help you. No, you're like me. You want to just go after the material wealth and misuse it. You don't want to use it properly. So I'm going to kill you now. know, Dad, we just came, we don't know exactly where you were. You said, "Can I help you?" How do we know how to help you if we can't find you? Just looking for you. Anyway, I know you people, but I'll give you a chance. If you want to help me, this is what you do. And don't try to come back here again without helping me. On the next Shraddha ceremony, the next anniversary of my death, you're to perform a Shraddha. We've been performing Shraddha, Father. Must have more than me and so. Yes, but this is a special Shraddha. Your Shraddha wasn't good enough. This is a special one. You have to bring a pure devotee of Krishna, a very pure devotee of Krishna to read the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā and offer the result of the 7th chapter Bhagavad-gītā for the benefit of my soul, and then I'll be free. Because 7th chapter Bhagavad-gītā is so powerful, it can free a soul from birth and death. So then he went back and somehow gave some story. I just happened to bump into this way, bumped into in the forest last night. Somehow he had some story with him. And this is what happened. The father wants 7th chapter Bhagavad-gītā to be read. And the Shraddha, so they arranged in the Shraddha ceremony, found a nice devotee of Krishna, and then read the 7th chapter Bhagavad-gītā, offering the results for the departed soul, the seat of the father. And the father was liberated from his snake birth. And he came there in some kind of a form, subtle or spiritual or something. And he came and he told them, divided the treasure and gave it to the 4 brothers. They told him, don't make the mistake I did, don't misuse it. Use this money for spiritual purposes. Apart from your maintenance, use it to serve Krishna, use it to spread the message of Krishna. In this way, you can also go back to Krishna. Always read 7th chapter Bhagavad-gītā. And he was taken back to God in front of the boys by the Vishnu Dutas. So they had a lot of faith in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. That's why I'm here, Vacha Govinda. No, he said 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. I was surprised. Such a powerful chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, how he was selected. Oh, really? Now you'll be very inspired when you're reading the 7th chapter. How many here are members of Bhakti Vriksha groups? Thank you. Swami mentioned that there's a lot of Bhakti Vriksha group. I was saying that I used to be in America, I was a little late at night. I was doing a presentation that we want. Then he said, nobody knows Maharaj, you haven't been touring around recently. Now America is exploding with the Bhakti Vrikshas. In Chicago, and different St. Louis, and different places, giving lessons. Somebody read here from all the progress here. Someone told me there's about 10 dynamic developments. In Chicago, we in all respect, leader of congregational preaching in North America. Festivals, Rath Yatra, Bhakti Vriksha.
Thank you for watching our videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.